Hello! These are 5 things to consider when choosing a country in which to work from when you're working remote. I'm going to jump straight in and just overview them. Time zone, currency difference, flight costs, safety, and safety. Time zone. The country that you're working in or the company that you're working for is on a set time zone. If you're working a 9 to 5, you need to be on shift at 9 in that country. If you go, let's use the UK for example, GMT 00. If you go out to Asia, you're going to be ahead, and so when you start at 9 a.m. in the country that your company is working in, you will be starting later. So you will spend probably your evenings doing the 9 to 5, and you'll have your day to go and do things. If you go the opposite way, you will be starting later. You will be starting earlier. You'll have your evenings free because everyone will have clocked off, but you will have to start much earlier. So that's a consideration. Which way do you want to operate? Are you more of an evening person or are you more of a morning person for exploration, for example? This goes back to sacrifices, because working a 9 to 5 while you're abroad does require certain sacrifices. Next, currency difference. We use the UK as an example here as well. Very fortunately, we have at the moment a fairly strong currency, and if you go to other countries, you get a slight income boost because you're earning money in another country and you're living and you're spending in a country where it's slightly cheaper for you. Some people can't do that, and so some people who may have a slightly weaker currency comparatively, not meant to offend anyone, that's just fact. You need to be a bit more careful with where you choose to move to, unless your income level is high enough that it doesn't really affect you. So that's something that you want to be looking out for, is the currency difference. Am I moving to a place where their currency is stronger than the one I'm earning in, or am I doing it the other way around and getting an income boost? Because that will affect your quality of life. Flight costs. This isn't just flight costs to get there and get back. Obviously you have to factor that in, but I mean, they're transporting, if you're going to Asia from the UK, they're transporting you basically around the world, so that's going to be expensive. But one thing that you should consider is the general flight cost to get there, but also the flight cost to get back in an emergency. What are the last minute flight costs to the country that you want to go to? Do you have the cash on hand that you'd be able to afford an emergency flight? It's something to consider, and it's something that I look at when I'm choosing a country to go and work in. Safety in general. The reason there's 2 safeties on the list is because they're slightly different. There's a general safety, and then there's a safety which is the attitude towards remote workers. Let's talk about general safety first. There's certain countries you go to where it's less safe for you to exist. I think there's an index online you can check. It's a consideration. Make sure you know before you travel to a country what the general safety is there. Do you need to be a bit more careful walking around with your laptop? Do you need to check out certain neighborhoods? That works for traveling as well as working remotely. It's something you should look at. The last one, safety, attitude towards remote workers. I am seeing more and more posts online in forums on remote working talking about remote workers getting harassed, and even signs up saying remote work not welcome. And I think a reason for this is because you're earning money in another country, probably with a stronger currency. You're then spending that money and living a good life, pushing the prices up for the people that live there, that aren't taking advantage of what's available. And more than likely, if you're just passing through, you're not going to set up tax in that country, especially if the clients that you're working on are in some country like the UK. So those sorts of things are what you should be looking at, which is the time difference for your job, it's the currency difference, it's the flight cost to get back, it's the safety in general, and it's the safety for you as a remote worker. Because obviously you don't want to annoy the locals. You want to be respectful, be part of the community, join in, learn, be present. You don't want to just be sucking the life out of these areas, because a lot of the time they're extremely beautiful. I hope this has added some value. Always add value. See you later.